So we now have another option for denoising our images that comes from the same company SyQon that gave us Starless for removing stars from our images. And just like Starless, there are two AI models that we can use. There's the free mini model, and there's also a paid version of the AI model called Deep. The free mini model does a great job of removing the noise from the image, but the Deep model, the paid version, is at a completely different level. So let's check it out. My name is Rich, and you're watching Deep Space Astro. Alright, so before we get started, we obviously have to install the script, so we'll come up into the scripts menu under Get Scripts, and you can either scroll through the list down here and look for the SyQon Prism script, or simply use the search box, start typing Prism. It'll pop right up for you, put a tick mark over on the right hand side, and then click Apply. We're going to start with my bubble nebula that I've already stacked, come out of the linear view and into auto stretch. So all I have done on this image is simply a crop and a background extraction. This time I use Grexpert's background extraction utility. One of the nice things about Prism is you can use it whether your data is linear or non-linear, meaning you can use it before you've stretched it or you can use it after you've stretched it. It's been trained on both types of data. I generally do my denoising when my data is still linear, but I could also do it after I've done my stretching. The one rule about that though is regardless of where you're going to use Prism, is make sure it is before you do any kind of deconvolution or sharpening, anything along those lines. You don't want to sharpen or deconvolve your image and then run Prism, because it'll just really make things over sharpen once Prism is done analyzing the noise and the signal in your image and giving you your final result. So no sharpening or deconvolution before running Prism and you'll be good to go. You can do a sharpening and a deconvolution after you use Prism, that's fine, just don't do it before. So we're going to fire off the script here, come up into Scripts, Python Scripts, Processing, and then the SyQon Prism. So before we actually run through how to use it, just like a lot of the other AI tools, are the number of options that we have available to us are very minimal because AI is doing all the heavy lifting. Prism is no different. We have two models that we can choose from. The Prism Mini is the free model that will automatically be downloaded the first time that you run the script, and it does a fantastic job. There's also a commercial AI model, just like Starless has a commercial AI model as well, and this one is called Prism Deep. Since it's a commercial model, it does come with a small cost. Time of recording at the current exchange rates for euros to American dollars, it's like around 31, 32 bucks. If you click Prism Deep and it's not installed, again, just like Starless, you'll be presented with this dialog box here. It's telling you to purchase it from the website, and then it's giving you the path to where you copy that. So if we were to click Buy Deep Model, it'll take you right to the Prism website. Scroll down to Get Access. Over on the right hand side here under Operating System, there are a couple options to choose from. Obviously, we're going to use the one for Siril, and then go ahead and add it to your cart and make your payment. Like I said, it's 27 euros. It's around 31 American dollars right now. At checkout, if you use the code DEEP5, you'll get 5% off your purchase, and that also kicks back a little bit of a commission for me when you guys use that code too. So it's a great way to save a little money and help support the channel. Once you have it downloaded, you're just going to want to unzip it. So on Windows, I just right click and say extract all. Once the extraction is complete, we're going to open up that folder. There's the AI model, and I'm going to cut it from my downloads directory, and then we're going to copy it over into this path here that it shows me in that dialog box. So we're going to go to my C drive, users, rich S, app data. App data is a hidden folder, so if you don't see this, come up to your view menu and then show, and just make sure you have hidden items ticked. Then you'll see app data. Then we're going to go into local, scroll down and look for the Siril directory, and then within Siril, look for SyQon Prism. You can see prism_mini.pt, that's the mini AI model, and just paste your deep model in that same directory and you're good to go. If we come back over into this dialog box, I can click on Validate Install. It tells me the deep model is ready to use, so now we're good to go. Just real quick, like I said, minimal options, but they're worth talking about. Just like the Starless and a lot of other AI tools by other developers, there's generally a tile size and an overlap, and these values in pixels are just a way to, instead of running the entire image to the inference, the AI model for the denoising, it'll chunk them out into tile sizes. So default settings generally work good. I haven't had any issues with them, but you can change them. But what these tiles actually mean is they're going to break your whole image up into 512 by 512 tiles, and those tiles are going to be overlapped by 64 pixels. So then each one of those tiles are now pushed through the AI model for analysis and to remove the noise. Once all the tiles have been put through, everything is stitched and feathered back together to give you your final image. The modulation down here on the bottom, default is 100%. 100% is a complete denoise, whereas if you take it back to 0, the image is not going to change. It'll still do a denoise, but your image will still have the same amount of noise that it does currently. So the idea behind this is if the 100% is too smooth for you, or maybe you like a little bit of noise in your image, you can back this down, because this is actually blending your original image with the fully denoised image. So you can kind of do a blend between the two just by adjusting this slider. The enable mix precision, the AMP, this is a GPU related option. It's on by default, obviously, and it'll help with the process running faster with you. So if you're having any issues with the script, I'd suggest first unchecking the AMP option, running it again, see if that helped. If not, then move to your second option and disable the GPU altogether. So if you don't have a GPU that's supported and you're seeing GPU errors or torch errors with the utility, then disabling it will force it to use just your CPU. It'll be a lot slower, but it'll still work. So that's it as far as the interface is concerned, right? So at this point, we're ready to process the image. So I'm gonna go back into the Prism mini model and just, like I said, click process image. It'll take a couple minutes. I'm gonna pause the video and come back as soon as it's done. Okay, denoising has completed, so I'm just gonna close the script and let's just zoom in here. We're at 148% zoom, and if I undo, so you can see the noise that was there previously, and then redo, you can see how nice and clean it left the image. Back out a little bit more and take a look at some of our background areas here. Again, this is before and after. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit more because I know sometimes this can get hard to see, but that's before and that's after. It's done a really good job. I mean, there's absolutely no noise left behind in this image that I can see. And again, we're at about 150% zoom right now, and the image looks really good. We go back out to a fit view and undo and redo. You know, I'm very happy with the result. So let's undo this one more time and run the script again. And this time I just want to show you guys the effect that the modulation slider has that we talked about. So if I took this down, I don't know, let's say 45%, and then process the image, that way you can see the blend. I know a lot of people don't like a completely smooth image. Sometimes I'm the same way. It just depends on the data. It can look a little plasticky sometimes, and that's just a preference. So we'll let this run, come back and take a look at the modulation set at 45%. Okay, denoising is completed. So let's zoom in here, get kind of close, back up to our 150%, and I'll undo it. There's our before, and then there's our after. You can see it's a lot more subtle. Still left a little bit of the noise in at 45%. You know, it gives the image a completely different look, right? Again, it's a preference thing. However you want to proceed with that modulation slider. Again, it's all preference. So both of those were using the Prism mini model. I have gone through on a few sets of data and ran each of the images with the Prism mini and then with the Prism Deep. So let's pull those up right now. And I'm going to do that using Python scripts, utility, and the image window. And in this one, we'll open up the denoise version from the Deep model, and then we'll get another window going here and open the one from the mini so we can do a side-by-side comparison. And we'll get this one over on the right, put this one on the left, bring them up to a fit view so we can see things easier. And before we start zooming in, I mean, take a close look at both of these images. On the left-hand side is the Prism Mini, and on the right-hand side is the Prism Deep. You can already see the difference because this model is not just removing the noise. As it removes the noise, it's identifying what is signal in your data and making that signal even stronger within your image as it's removing the noise. And you can see that not only does the signal look stronger, I'm seeing more contrast, I'm seeing more detail. It's just a more vivid image over the standard model. Also pay attention to like the background areas. They're more defined against these faint HA details in the corners here. So if you're looking at this area of the background on the right hand side and comparing it to this area on the left hand side, you can see the difference. There's just more contrast in there. Zooming in, get right in here on the bubble, and I'm going to try and put them side by side at the same zoom level for the most part. And again, you can really see the details in the image that have been brought out with the Deep model, and the bubble itself is proof of that. So you can, you know, this image looks great as it is. As far as denoising is concerned, I don't think one model is doing better than the other, at least not in the 3 sets of data that I've looked at, but it's doing so much more than just denoising for us. Again, it's pulling that signal out and revealing more faint details that we wouldn't see otherwise. So again, if we look in the bubble, in these darker areas, you can see how cleaner it is on the deep side versus the mini side. And specifically, like right in this area here, and I'm circling over on the right hand side, you can see some little filaments, it looks like, right in this almost dead center of the bubble that you don't see here. But if you look closely, they are actually there. They're just harder to see. And it, you know, when it removed the noise, it brought that detail to the foreground. So, you know, same thing with the top of the bubble. I'm seeing a lot more defined structure than I am with the mini. So it does a lot better job than the mini model does. So let's jump over to my M45. And on the left-hand side, again, we'll open up the mini. And on the right-hand side, we'll open up the deep. And again, right away, just looking at the views like this, you can see the difference in the signal and the contrast between the two. And if we zoom in to both of them and try and get as close as we can to the same zoom levels, these things lined up so we have a good comparison. Once again, I'm not seeing any difference as far as noise removal is concerned. They're both completely clean of noise, but the amount of detail and all this wispy filaments within M45 have just popped. I mean, you can see right around this area in here on the left-hand side, and then compare it to the one on the right-hand side, how much more defined all these structures are. Okay, so let's take a look at one more example, and this time I'll open up my Spider Nebula, and again on the left-hand side we'll do the mini model, and then over on the right-hand side we will open up the deep model. And just like the previous two, you can see the difference just in this zoomed out view in the amount of contrast and detail on the right-hand side image, which is the deep model. We can do like we did before and just zoom in, take a closer look at some of these areas, and once again both models have removed the noise perfectly. But again, all the faint wispy details that are in the image in areas like this right here on the right hand side, you can see these darker areas are more defined versus over here they're a lot softer. It's really again brought all the signal to the foreground as it's removed the noise from the image. So those are the examples that I have. There are a couple other features within the software that I want to make you guys aware of. And the first one is you can run this against a sequence. So right now obviously we've been running it against a single image, but if you were to have a sequence open, and I'll set my home directory to my process directory here because that's where my sequences are, and if I was to come over into my sequence tab and click search sequences, and then we'll just select the PP Lite sequence. Now when I come up and run the script, you'll see down the bottom here it says sequence loaded, and to configure the settings and click process, and our process image button has now been renamed to process sequence. So it will go through and denoise each and every image that is in the currently loaded sequence for you. The second thing is if you're writing any scripts on your own, you can call Prism from a command line. So easiest way to take a look at it is if you come up into scripts and then Python scripts and make your way back over to the Prism script, instead of left clicking, if you right click on it, it'll open the script in the editor for you, and right in the top here there's a quick description of the parameters that you can use from a command line. So what do you guys think? Have you tried Prism yet? And if so, what are your thoughts? For me right now, this is going to be my go-to denoising tool. I really like the end result that I get from it, and I really love the signal extraction that it provides in addition to removing the noise from the image. Honestly, I didn't even know it could be pulled out of the image in a way that the Prism full model is able to do for us. So before we go, I just want to say thanks to all my members here on YouTube and on Buy Me a Coffee. I appreciate everybody's support. If you want to support the channel, consider becoming a member. There's other ways of supporting the channel as well. I have links to my merchandise shop down in the description. There's also affiliate links to places like High Point Scientific and Agena Astro. Don't forget to use the code DEEP5 at SyQon's website if you're going to purchase the Deep model. And as always, I appreciate everybody's time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video, and clear skies.